Welcome to Wrestling Hill Talk, where we talk all things wrestling, old and new. I'm your host, Stevie. We got Chuck, Dr. Nick, Ben, Roger, and Will. How's everybody feeling this week?
Feeling great.
Good.
Living the
Absolutely.
dream.
Well, SummerSlam has came and gone, so we'll be talking about that for a couple of minutes. And, we got preseason week 1 of football. The Hall of Fame game was last Thursday, and now tomorrow, officially, it's week 1 of preseason. So I'm pretty excited personally about that. But
Me too.
what's up, Michael Bure? Welcome in, everybody.
Big Mike.
Big Mike. Michael Borat. I'm just kidding. That's a nice 24/7 belt you got there, Roger.
Thank you. It's one of my newer belts I got.
Yeah. Well, if you ever see me in a Walmart with a referee, man, you better watch out.
Hey,
That's right.
come on with it. Come on with it.
Get you in the Walmart, man. Hit you with those rollbacks.
I'll either
That worked out better than I thought it would.
I'll get you in the sharpshooter, or I'll cheat and use a bottle.
There you go.
Bottle?
I'll
come by with the crop duster.
Yep.
That's it. I'm out. I'm tapping.
Yep.
That's it.
That's a
Dr.
finishing
Nick, are
move
you-
all by itself.
Nick, are you drinking a Budweiser?
No, it's Barks.
Oh, the root beer.
Yeah, it's got bite.
Budweiser don't look silver like that. That looks more like a Coors Light.
Well, honestly, though, it looked like it had a little bit of red on it when he first opened it. And I
It
was
has
thinking,
the red dog on it from Barks.
well, yeah, I know that, but, cut me some slack, man. I really thought he was drinking a Budweiser.
Come on, man. You're a beer connoisseur. You shouldn't have to ask those questions.
Yeah, actually, I was thinking about drinking some Sam Adams today. I got some left over from SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
I bought-
SummerSlam was pretty good in comparison to what I thought, so I had some beer left over. I didn't need to get through the whole show,
A lot of people said some really negative stuff about SummerSlam, but I really enjoyed it. And honestly, I think I've watched every single event so far this year, and it's the first time in many, many years that I can truly say that. And I really enjoyed the card. And, I really enjoyed that Brock Cody match a whole lot more than I thought I would. And, of course, Roman and Jay was pretty good too. So,
Yeah, the only thing that I saw negative out of it was the Ronda Rousey Shayna Baszler match. That was one of those Dr. Nick talks about go take a dump matches.
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, I
didn't
think they should have had the Becky and Trish on there.
Yep.
I think that would have been a lot better than that quote unquote MMA style match.
Yeah, no, that was just kind of stupid, man. And she roundhouse kicked her in the face like 5 miles per hour, so they probably like barely even did anything.
Yeah,
But I mean, they did have some potato shots in there. That knee to the face probably went a little harder than they wanted. I watched the whole match. Honestly, it was only like 10 minutes, I think.
well, the thing is, where do you go from here?
Well, she's gone. Supposedly she's leaving.
Yeah, she's
Like,
Oh,
she-
that's right. That's
Oh,
right.
that's
She is
right.
going back to UFC.
Yeah, there was talk she's going back to UFC.
So
But
she
you
just
know
wanted
what,
to kind of
though?
like put over Shayna before she went.
Yeah, but they should have done that in a regular match, or they should have done it in a submission style match, not the stupid fake UFC crap.
Yep, I agree.
Yeah.
100%.
Because all that did was make UFC look bad, I think.
Well, it made WWE look bad too for putting on a match like that they don't know the full spectrum of that type of a match.
Yeah. Well, when it first announced it, I was like, are they really going to have an MMA fight? But then when I realized that they weren't going to do rounds and stuff like that, like it was just going to be a match until it was over, I was like, yeah, this ain't gonna be a real
Well, like
fight.
back in the days when they used to have the Lions Den match with like Steve Blackman or Ken Shamrock, that made sense. That was a genuine, MMA style match.
But for WWE, though, it should have been just a submission match, and you wouldn't have had to worry about any of that stuff, because if you had done that exact same match under a submission match or a regular falls count anywhere or anything like that, that match actually would have been pretty decent. But
Yep.
the fact that you built it up as a MMA bullshit, then that's where it fell apart because everybody was expecting, the octagon. I mean, I know I was expecting an octagon at the back of the arena,
Same
and
here.
when they put it together like that, they just shot themselves in the foot with it.
Well, I
But
could
if
just
you,
see Vince in the office going, "That's good shit, man."
yeah, but
You know,
I think
Yeah, like
again,
that
if
brawl
you
for
had
all.
made it, you could have literally built an octagon in the back of the arena and made it more realistic than that.
Yep.
Or, like I said, false count anywhere. Make that a false count anywhere. Have them go up on the second story and beat the hell out of each other, and one of them, submit up there and, send her off the right way. But, I don't think Ronda gets nearly the credit she should.
Yeah.
And I still see people, even in the comments, people are talking about, I'm glad she's gone or whatever. But, what an athlete. What a tremendous athlete. Probably the most dominant female athlete, especially for a mixed martial arts in any of our lifetimes and that we'll probably ever see.
Right.
Even though, you know, she's gone supposedly. So we'll see.
Yeah, supposedly she's going back to the UFC because I think it was Pena retired. So now she's going to go back and fight.
Nunez.
Nunez, yeah.
Amanda Nunez.
Yeah, she
Nunez,
retired.
whatever.
So now the word is she's going to go back and contend for the belt again because Nunez is gone. So apparently she didn't think she could beat Nunez. So now Nunez is gone. So she's coming.
Well, but you know what though? Sometimes, especially in that mixed martial arts and all that, people get inside of each other's heads. Look at Brock Lesnar. His last couple fights in UFC, he should have really won for sure. I mean, if you
Well,
go back and watch those.
that last one where he caught a Vicky Turtle.
diverticulitis.
That's one. Thank you.
Yeah, he was sick.
Yeah, he was straight sick, and that kick to the gut, that was it. He was done.
Yeah,
So he
but
shouldn't.
you look at events like that though. I think sometimes you remember he had taken a loss, and then once you take that loss and you're Brock Lesnar, I think you have this, mental defeat already in your mind, thinking, I thought I was going to go out there and destroy this person, and now I'm taking the defeat. So I think once you get that loss under your belt, yeah, it's the same thing in reality, man. Day-to-day life, if you're going through your day-to-day life and you take a loss in life, you're going to do everything in your life not to take that same loss again, whether it be, financially, in a relationship, anything. It could be an ass whooping. You could have taken an ass whooping, and you don't want to take that ass whooping again. But more than likely, in real life, you've taken an ass whooping, with a job or a girl or something like that. You don't want to go through it again. And it's the same mental
total
thought process.
sense because I kind of an offshoot of that. I don't know how true this is, but the story goes is Paul Orndorff beat the shit out of Vader before he left WCW. Apparently, they got into a little scuffle. He beat the shit out of him with a flip flop and embarrassed him. And then he went to the WWF. Everybody that said when he arrived there, it's like he lost his confidence. He was a shell of who Vader was before that. And I can honestly see that because you go from a guy in Japan that literally could just beat anybody, a big monster, to, what he ended up being after, him and Shawn. I could see that. Anybody who has that presence of, beating everyone, you get that one loss and you're like, wow, can I still do this?
Well, you look at Mike Tyson against Buster Douglas.
1992, 93, 94, Vader. Compare any of those years of Vader, Big Van Vader, to 1996 Vader. They're not even the same guy.
Oh,
I mean, literally, it's not even the same dude. Like, when I was a kid, probably 10, 11 years old, watching Vader on WCW Saturday Night, he was legit a scary dude. Like, you, as a child, were afraid of this man. But then in '96, everybody's whooping his ass in WWF.
Yeah.
I think the match with the women's match with Bianca and Asuka and who was the third?
Charlotte Flair.
Charlotte Flair. I was not surprised the way that it went. I guess I don't know. I think I went into it not expecting much, but it ended up being a good match in my opinion.
I was going to say that 450 off the top rope was pretty sweet.
See, for me, that one wasn't. That one started off bad. When you've got Asuka and Bianca in the corner, and then Charlotte has to stop and have the ref redo her outfit on the back because it popped open, and they're still actually trying to sit there in the corner like they were really beat up. 30 seconds into the match, while she stopped to do that, that told me right there that match was going to go downhill.
It was kind of like threw off the game plan.
Everything, yeah.
Tell you what, Bianca is a hell of an actor.
For sure.
I thought she was legit hurt.
I mentioned this to Will. Same thing. If she was legit hurt, then it would make sense because I thought they were going to pass it off for Asuka to win. And then Will was like, no, she came back out. So that was my thought then. It was kayfabe and she turned around because at the end, she couldn't tell you which leg was injured. So, I mean, that was just one of those matches. For me personally, once that happened, the first 30 seconds, I was like, this is going to be shit.
I think it was the right move.
That's an old Bret Hart trick because Bret Hart used to pull that same shit all the time where he would supposedly get hurt in matches and it would always be his knee. And then 5 minutes later, he'd come back and he'd win the match and he'd be limping, but this time he'd be limping on the other leg. So Bret Hart used to do the same thing. That's the
only thing that made me think it was real is because if you listen to it, as soon as you hear that boom from her hitting that the stairs, immediately she was screaming. So
but hold on there. Have you ever been around a WWE ring? Have you ever touched those stairs? I mean, if you're falling from the top rope and you hit those stairs with your hands, you're gonna scream because you know how friggin' bad that hurts your hands.
Well, now here's the thing: they have, and I'm sure you know this, Will. They have separate spots where they have separate steps. So, like one spot will have aluminum or whatever. So when you hit them, it doesn't hurt as bad. Of course, anything you get hit with is gonna feel bad. But it depends on where you are in position to the ring as to where those stairs are. And
what's up, Larry?
No, but you still have
WWE, you're absolutely right about that. WWE has come a long way with steps because, now they're all hollowed out and stuff. When you grab them, you pick them up, they're all hollowed out, right? But remember back in the day when they were throwing Mankind and The Undertaker and Bret and Lex and all those guys into those steps? And then the steps would barely move because they were legit big ass heavy metal steps.
And that's how you know which ones they'll throw each other into because they'll hit it and they'll knock the steps off. But then there's some that they hit. Usually it's on the back by the announcers, or like I said, they shift it around where they'll get hit and it doesn't budge at all. And then you get
back in the golden era, they were either wood or the blue solid steel.
Yep.
Yeah. And that shit didn't move at all.
Oh, no.
At all. And then back then, you can remember some of the guys, picking up the stairs, and legit, it was the hardest thing they'd ever done. They'd pick up the stairs and be like, throw them out of the way.
Yeah, there was no throwing it into the ring like you do now.
No, not at all. Not at all. And remember, too, I know you'll remember this, but in the early Saturday night main events and the old wrestling challenge, remember before they put the blue mats around the ring? It was just concrete around the ring.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Think about that. I mean, you take a quick little spill out of the ring now, you land on a bunch of pillows. You know what I mean?
Remember when Steamboat got DDT'd?
Yeah.
Sure do.
He got legit knocked out.
I can't remember who did it, but even he was like, was it Jake? Yeah. Jake was saying, I don't want to do this. And then when it came down to doing it, he thought he'd actually killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, they covered that in his biography, I think.
Yep. I
think it was the right move for Io Sky to cash in. I think it made sense. It was exciting, Bailey and her come out there. Bailey's hitting people with the case. And, here you've got a up and coming star. And I think she'll have a decent sized run, but I think there may be some feuding between her and Bailey at some point.
Well, and
Probably.
me and Will were talking about this too, and I seen it in the other chats we had. People were like, "Well, she hit her in the knee with the case. Isn't that a DQ?" It wasn't a DQ because the match hadn't started yet.
Right.
So once she handed over the case and she was waiting for them to ring the bell, she was already up on the ropes. So once they rang the bell, she just did her swanton, and there you go. But hitting her.
Another quick point too. This has come up a lot this week. I've seen it in several chats and in different things. But you guys know, not just you guys obviously talking to me, but the guys out there in the chat room. You guys know wrestling's not fake, right? Like,
I brought that up.
There's predetermined winners of matches. We all know that, even though we don't talk about it. But look at some of the shit that's happening to these folks. It's not fake. I mean, look at the stuff that they're going through, and I can't imagine. I mean, I'm not saying I'm a tough guy because I'm not by any means, but I can't imagine taking some of these suplexes off the top ropes or some of these falls on the floor, even though, we just talked about it's a lot better than it was in the past. But,
it's still hard.
Not a fake atmosphere.
Well, did you see the huge list of people that are injured right now?
Yeah.
Oh, man, there's a ton.
Sonya Deville's out. Liv Morgan's out. Raquel can't fight yet.
Kevin Owens.
KO and
Sammy's hurt.
Sammy, I'm not sure about that one.
I couldn't imagine taking a chop from Gunther. I just can't even.
Supposedly Roman's injured.
Yeah, right in the beginning of the match with Jay. Supposedly he injured himself.
Well, thank God he only does a match every 2 months.
That's what they were saying. Is it really doesn't affect anything based on his ring schedule? But I brought this up in the chat. I met DDP in Afghanistan, and the first thing he was talking to everybody, he's like, "I'm here to tell you right now, wrestling is not fake. You cannot fake taking a chair to the head. You can't fake." And you mentioned other things. He's like, "But wrestling is predetermined."
Believe me, doing the indies from 2007 until 2015, I seen people get injured all the time. And a lot of it wasn't even, it was stuff that they would do all the time.
Yeah.
But, it would be, something would just go wrong, and it would be like a slip disc, or a friend of mine broke his neck doing a routine move.
Look at Big E. Just a suplex over and missed it, broke a neck. And now looks like he's been told he can't come back at all.
Yeah, which actually goes into the next thing I was going to talk about. Doctors advised him to never wrestle again. In addition to that, it looks like Buddy Rogers and Rhea Ripley got engaged, so congratulations to them.
Oh, nice.
And, sorry for everybody else who thought they had a chance. Your chance just went from 0.06% to 0.01%.
Dang, Dominic's going to be upset.
Dominic's going to be.
Did you say Buddy Rogers?
Did I say Buddy Rogers? Buddy Murphy, my bad.
The nature boy Buddy Rogers.
I was going to say, I thought Buddy Rogers was dead.
Yeah, he come back from the grave to hook up with mommy.
Listen, I've been watching a lot of old school wrestling, man. So the name.
So what did everybody think about LA Knight winning? I mean, we all kind of guessed it, but
I thought the way it went and played out in the end with him and Sheamus, I thought that was a good way to do it. I also liked the Ricochet Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good way to start off the pay-per-view. I thought that was great.
I didn't like the ending.
No,
well, he's supposed to have metal in his fist, and then he needs brass knucks.
Yeah, the ending I didn't agree with or didn't care for, but I thought the overall match was a great match and a great way.
I think he should have, instead of the brass knucks, I think he should have hit him with a bottle of Prime.
Yeah.
Well, you look, that kid had a bottle of Prime, and he took a drink and dumped it on him. Then at the end, that kid had another bottle of Prime, so it's like,
Yeah, then Michael said earlier He said Brock and Cody was his favorite match. The MMA match was not good. Plus the build up for it, so that didn't help either. Yeah, I could definitely see that.
I agree. The Brock Cody match was really, really good. I thought.
It was half and half event for me. I think I liked half of it.
I would say beside the top match for me that night was probably the Intercontinental title match. I enjoyed that one.
Drew and Gunther.
Yeah, I thought that one.
Only issue I have with that match is we've seen it like 3 times already.
I'll tell you what, though, they're building Chad Gable up big time.
Yep.
Dude,
happy about that.
Dude is a beast. Did you guys see that match he had with Gunther?
Yep. Yeah. So Chuck made a point. Chuck made a point about 5 minutes ago, and I think it got swept under the rug. But I want to go back to that real quick. Chuck said, "I would not want to take a chop by Gunther." Can you imagine being back in the day, like 86, 87 era, somewhere in there, 88, and being Ric Flair and Ricky Steamboat going an hour every single night in matches with each other? How many times those guys got chopped? I mean, that right there, can you imagine? Like, they must have, I mean, first of all, here's the thing. First of all, the very first match, you're going to take about 20 chops, right? So you're already going to be sore as hell and hurting like crazy. Then the very next day, you do it again for another hour. I mean, at some point, you just want to lay down and cry because you can't hardly move because your chest hurts so damn bad. And then you do it again the next day. So I think
selling the move easier.
I've brought this up before about why I don't like AEW so much. And Ben can agree with me on this one. It's like they have a certain amount of chops each match has to do. I mean, for like, I don't know, 5 minutes, they're switching back and forth on doing chops on each other. And it's like, okay, 1 or 2, like Rick used to do, he'd be doing it a few times, and then they'd wrestle, and then he'd do it again, or somebody would chop him. It's like these guys start chopping each other. It's like a race to see who can get more.
I don't know if anybody remember this or not, but during the mid 2000s, it seemed like WWE had an obsession with Irish whips.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was like, why? What? I was sitting here one night years ago watching. I'm like, there's so many Irish whips in this match. I feel like I'm at Starbucks.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just boom, 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 and it would be on the same card 5 different times.
Yeah.
But here's something: nobody ever in the history of wrestling took an Irish whip like Bret the Hitman Hart ever.
Oh, dude would sell that like crazy.
Nobody ever took one. That dude would run head on, face first, head on, chest first, right into the turnbuckles, and then he would hit, and he would like grab his chest and be like, "Oh!" like he had been shot. You know what I mean? So
I think the only other person that did it, but Sean did it just to be a prick. He would oversell on purpose.
The flip.
Oh yeah, the flip.
Yeah.
Hey, I love those flips though, man. I don't care if he was overselling or not. That shit was entertaining.
Rick did the same thing. Flip over the ring post onto the border.
The apron. The
apron. He did the same thing, and he sold it great. But you knew it was going to happen at least once a match.
Yeah. Someone said earlier.
Who actually?
He said Hardcore Holly's chops are better than Gunther's. A lot of people forget Hardcore Holly was a freaking badass, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd say that because the people didn't sell it and you couldn't see the marks as well as you do from Gunther's.
So who won the pay-per-view picks? Who was the winner out of that?
You know, I didn't even have time to tally it up, to be honest with you. Probably Chuck, man.
I had 5 and 3.
I think
so what did everybody
8?
What did everybody think about Jay and Roman?
I liked it. I enjoyed it.
I called it last week when we were talking about it. I said Solo's going to interfere, and then if Jimmy comes back, whose side is he going to be on? And he showed.
You're right.
On Roman's side.
I'm done with
it. Roger was spot on.
I don't want to see that shit anymore. I'm sick of it, dude.
Roger was spot on with calling all that.
What'd you say, Chuck?
I was disappointed in it. I thought it would be better than that. I thought it would be somebody else besides him coming out and then kicking his own brother. I just thought, come on.
Yeah, they all just need to have a fatal. What is there?
They
4
are.
of them?
They are at SummerSlam. The poster's already out. It's Roman, Solo,
Payback?
and Jimmy.
Isn't Payback the next one?
Payback's the next one, but the poster, they've already put it out. Somebody put it out in the chat. The poster for SummerSlam is another tribal court. Or tribal
You sure
match.
it wasn't Survivor Series?
What did I say?
You said SummerSlam
said
at first.
Oh, no.
I thought Payback was next.
Survivor Series. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, my
Okay.
apologies. Survivor Series. It's got the
So all the way into November?
poster I saw said it.
Hold up. Is it a 4-way for the title?
I don't know if it's for the title, but it's a 4-way. It says it's a tribal match or whatever they called this one. Same thing, but it's 4 of them. All 4 of them.
Yeah, the next one is Payback.
Yeah, so I'm gonna be stupid and say it starts with an S, but
It's in September 2nd in Pittsburgh.
yeah.
I
But yeah,
don't
was
give
the
a shit
poster.
anymore. I mean, I don't care about the tribal shit anymore. Like Sammy should have won the belt, and that should have been the end of it. I don't give a shit about the rest of that.
Yeah, they are
I'm with you.
overplaying it a little. But me and William were talking about this. Jay and Jimmy are not good singles wrestlers. Now you're going to go and end up somewhere throwing in Jay versus Jimmy. And the thing with that is they both know each other so well. Is that going to be a good match or is that going to be a very boring match?
Should be very good.
I go with boring because they're going to throw the same moves at each other.
Well, you end up with the Shawn Michaels, Marty Jannetty stigma, where you know damn well Jay would make a career out on his own, and Jimmy wouldn't just flounder. I mean that's what happened with, everybody thought John Morrison was going to be the star out of the Miz and Morrison. Look how that ended up.
Yeah.
I just think if you split the Usos, I don't think it would work.
Oh, I agree. Me and William were talking about that.
Yeah,
It
one of the
doesn't seem like it's
Usos, whether y'all want to admit it or not, the Usos are one of the greatest tag teams in professional wrestling of all time. Whether you want to admit it or not, they are. They are up there.
They're definitely up there.
They're in the top 10 kind of category, and it just for nothing else, longevity alone, they have lasted and lasted compared to
they've evolved. I mean, they went from the painted faces and the long hair to more of the street type of wearing the hooded sweatshirts and becoming more serious. And as soon as they did that, I mean, the match they had with the New Day, was it in the cage match or the Hell in a Cell? I think it was the Hell in a Cell where they had it against New Day. I mean, they beat the shit out of each other.
Yep, and it was great. So they're one of the greatest tag teams of all time, and there's just no doubt about that at all. But anytime you try to split up a great tag team, it's just never good. Never good.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean,
I do like the Usos, but they need to get a whole new package going with this whole situation.
I just don't think they know what else to do, so they're like, well, who else can we beat Roman? We don't really know. So
here's the last thing I'll say about this because we got to move past SummerSlam. But here's the last thing I'll say. Triple H said that this whole Roman thing and the whole tribal thing and all that, it's all part of a greater story, is what he talked about when he was doing the press conference. All part of a greater story. And these guys haven't really finished telling that story yet. But the thing is, it's been so long now that everybody's ready to move on from the story. And here's the thing. If tomorrow you had Cody or Seth or Randy or AJ or whoever come out and just beat Roman and take the belts, then what? Then what do you do? So that's the thing. I think that's why they're going so long with this, is because the very next angle after this, where is it going to go?
Yeah, we talked about this last week. There's no true new face for the WWE. It's Roman. Now you can
Correct.
turn around and disagree and say, "Oh, it could be Seth." No, the longevity of
Well,
Roman is that he's not going. There's nobody right now that could take over being the face of WWE.
I'll say one last thing, and Roman made it pretty clear, and it made sense to me. Was in that promo he cut on Jay, he said, "You know what? If you beat me, you'll be the tribal chief, but I'll always be Roman Reigns."
Yeah.
And he's right. Does not matter if Roman has the titles or not. He's still Roman Reigns. He's still going to be one of the top guys.
Correct.
It's that example of the belt does not make the man. The man makes the title. And in that case, Roman does not need a championship to be Roman Reigns. So him losing the title is not going to make him look like crap.
Correct. Hey, Chuck, what were you going to say?
If you watch the after the matches and Paul Heyman was talking, he said it was the bottom of the third. We've got a long way to go.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, they better make it better. Or get someone else involved, like bring in Rikishi or something, because, I mean, damn.
Yeah.
They don't do that.
Well, here's the thing, though. Here's the thing with that exact thing is they better make it better. But I've never been in many, many years as tuned in as I am now.
That's true.
So, I mean, they're getting what they want. They're making people tune in and watch it because, now you're wanting to see what is going to happen.
Well, we've talked about that over and over, but the push should be for Gunther to do that. Now, here's a thought. Chad Gable doesn't win. LA Knight comes up. Could LA Knight beat him? And then Gunther would move forward and get the push. There's so many different angles that you could look at for different things right now.
I'd be willing to bet that Gunther never makes it to that top level, just like Honky Tonk Man didn't.
Okay, I could see that too.
Honestly, I think the next top guy is Damian Priest.
I agree with that. I could see that very much so.
Yeah.
And if he
Let's
goes
go
after
ahead.
Roman,
Let's go ahead and move into show and tell. We spent about 30 minutes on SummerSlam. So who wants to go first for show and tell this week?
Well, you're first in line.
All right, I guess I'll go first. So, I mean, the first part of my show and tell, I don't actually have present with me. It's in the other room, but it's so bulky that I'm not going to actually show it on screen other than a picture here. But I bought this huge DVD lot off of a guy on eBay, and the majority of them were in like new condition, which is awesome. And I didn't have the majority of these either. There are some duplicates, which I'll probably throw up in the next time that I do a sale with everybody. But that's the first part. And then I have some actual stuff to show too, but only a couple things. Oh, goodness. All right. So, 2 more DVDs that I got off a bin. I got the Bobby Heenan DVD.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm excited to watch. And then I got Rey Mysterio 619, which I think I have 2 copies of this now because I think it was also in that lot. So that's all the DVDs I have.
I'm
Next up,
see how that Ray 619 is.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
Definitely.
I bought a Trevor Lawrence pop figure because I like Trevor Lawrence, not necessarily the Jaguars, although they have.
Why do you feel the need to explain why you bought it?
Don't get extra credit.
Exactly.
And then I bought this Bianca Belair pop figure off of Amazon, and of course it arrived fucked up.
Yep.
I don't know if you can kind of see that. But what's crazy about it is in a box within a box, and it's still screwed up. So it was screwed up in the warehouse before they shipped it. Lastly, I got the Fiend Ultimate Edition on Amazon, which showed up in great shape. which is ironic because I don't keep these sealed anymore.
Oh, I gotta go get that.
Yeah, I think it was like $17.
Just so you know, I'm really proud of you for not keeping those sealed anymore.
Thank you. I tell you
Just
what,
so
man.
you know, I'm not.
The first time, I have some figures that I'm keeping sealed, but the first time that I opened those basics, remember a couple weeks ago I had a couple basics and I said I opened it and immediately I felt bad. Well, after I opened that Ultimate Warrior Classics, I didn't feel bad anymore. And I just destroyed this box. Damn. I didn't realize there was another thing of tape. Son of a bitch.
Rookie.
I was trying to keep the boxes in decent shape because I'm keeping the accessories inside. You know? Dude, how many fucking pieces of tape?
I gave up on that. I just started using Ziplocs.
That's what I'll probably do at some point.
I have an entire Ziploc bag full of nothing but hands.
Hey, me too. I know the feeling. I know the pain.
You know what, man? This box is just not going to make it because for some reason they taped it like 8 different spots. Look at that. That's just a beautiful figure.
The Ultimates are really cool because a lot of the figures I will pose before I put them in my cases. And the Ultimates with all the articulation, I mean, you can practically do anything you want with them.
Yeah, I just have them loosely displayed in my theater room right now. But that's sick, man. So doesn't feel bad. Doesn't feel bad at all.
I'm finding that one because I'm a Fiend fan. So
yeah. Also, do you have the Alexa Bliss one? Because it was on sale on Amazon, I think, for like $14. Alexa, come on.
Yeah, I believe I do.
Every time I say her name, the fucking thing goes off.
Ah,
All right, who's next? Chucky.
Alrighty.
Mr. Chuck.
Chucky, quack, quack. Moment of the
that's
night.
Hey, that's a heartbreak kid. Y'all put some respect on his name when you say it.
Now I got me Flair.
Nice.
Woo!
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 And I got me another one.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah,
That's
one
double
of those
woo.
for Chase.
Chuck's like, what the hell are these guys wooing for?
And I got me another one.
That's three-way.
Woo! Ooh, that's the LJN
Flares.
style.
That's
Very
nice.
cool.
Got
So
a
he
couple
had
of
two
flares.
different ones with the blue and the red. Is that a Chase?
I got another one.
Woo!
Ooh, that
Dang,
one's signed.
Woo!
Is that
How
one
many
signed? Oh no,
how many
I
flares
thought it
they
was
make?
signed. I saw the. Oh, they made a ton in the Jack's Classics.
I had no idea.
And then
I'm wondering, are you a fair
I got
planner?
Zeus.
Oh,
Zeus.
nice.
Gotta have Zeus.
And
I
love.
love
I
you.
love you.
Absolutely. Hey, speaking of Brother Love, I put up a Brother Love autograph last night on the live and nobody bought it. I'm like,
I
the
was gonna
stuff
ask.
that
I was
the
gonna
stuff
ask
that
you about
doesn't
that,
sell,
bro.
the stuff that doesn't sell sometimes just blows my fucking mind. Go ahead, Chuck. I'm sorry. Heartbreak Kid, go for it.
yeah, and I got old Gorilla Monsoon.
Hell yeah.
Wow, that
Gotta
was
love
It's
Gorilla.
a happening. It's a happening. That's what girls used to say. It's a happening.
Yeah. And then, like I said, got me another Zeus.
There you go.
Nice.
Can't have too many Zeus.
Then another Brother Love.
Hell yeah.
I love you.
Let's see. This one I like really well. I think this is a pretty cool. It's Terry Funk and
Mick Foley?
Mankind.
Mick Foley.
Mick
Yeah,
Foley.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
man.
really cool.
that is cool. So I've seen two of those in about a month, and it's the first time I've seen them since like 2006.
and then I got this Hulk Hogan.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
Yeah. And then I got me another Hulk Hogan.
Hell yeah.
And then
Chuck's
this one-
2 weeks worth of pickups this week because you missed
2
last
weeks.
week.
Yeah. Then I picked this up today.
Nice.
Oh hell yeah!
But
Nice.
this next thing I'm going to show you, I'm pretty sure Ben and William will really like this. It's a poster, but it's on material.
Looks
Oh,
like
yeah.
you already got that mini pop in your background, mini pop collection.
Oh wow,
Nice.
Which
that's really cool.
So that's Rumble. That's Rumble 91. That's
Yeah.
Rumble 91 is the event. That's awesome.
And that'll do me.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty good
Yeah,
pickup week.
Chuck's whooping ass.
So real quick, Chuck, out of all the ones you just collected, which ones do you like better, the classic superstars or the elites?
Classic superstars.
The boxes are cooler.
Yeah, see, I'm a big classic superstars fan too, and but ironically, I don't think I have any. But I noticed somebody had this week. The one I would love to get that I saw was the Bruiser Brodies, and I think it's come down on some price because it was expensive. But now a lot of those classics are becoming really expensive. But
Oh yeah, they've
a lot of those ones we just
skyrocketed.
had are
I'll
some
tell you what,
exclusive.
I got a friend that he just got this big collection of those from somebody was collecting. I'll tell you what, if I find one, I'll send it to you.
Let me know.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
So
real quick.
just for the record, Chuck just hit every one of us with some sweet chin music.
Yep.
Check it out, man. I put the jacket on it, man. That's soft good.
that,
Very nice.
hey,
That's all.
now,
That's
do
all
have
I'm
one
gonna
more
have him
thing.
display.
what-
I got one more thing. I
What
got
you-
me an Abdullah the Butcher fork.
Nice.
Oh,
Signed it. He even signed it for me.
That's
Nice.
awesome.
Oh my gosh.
I just
That's a real
I'm
piece right
fully
there.
caught up on Dark Side of the Ring now. So I watched Abdullah today.
Yep.
Bam Bam, Marty Jannetty, Bash at the Beach. I watched all that today while working.
All right, I got two questions. One's a silly one because I'm starting to open. When it comes to the soft goods, does it fit over the arms or the legs, or do you got to remove an arm and leg and then put it on? How's that work?
Well, I just put this on and it was kind of a bitch, but I basically had to like turn his arm like almost completely
Okay.
back like that.
You don't
Well,
remove
if
the
it's
arm
if it's an ultimate, the arms pop off.
yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah.
I don't want to break them. That's why I always was wondering.
So here's the thing.
Probably would have made it a lot easier, but I just
Well,
I did
like
it the hard way.
I've found for some of the soft goods, it's sometimes you almost feel like you're gonna break it, but like what I do is like what he said. I kind of like put it. It's almost like this, where you have to like maneuver their arm. You know,
Yeah.
it always reminds me of like the zombies during the Thriller video. They're like it.
Now, what,
See, I'm afraid I'm gonna break it because then it's a bitch to get them out of the plastic, and I'm afraid when I'm sitting there trying to get them out of the plastic, am I gonna break it? And that's what I was wondering about the accessories, like with the soft goods, the shirts or the swapping stuff out. If the arms or legs came off and you just put it on that way and then attached it back on, or if you leave it attached and you just put it over.
So nothing breaks your heart more than breaking a figure, because like this right here is a 1982 Rimco Ric Flair figure, and this whole arm right here, that arm right there, it's shattered, absolutely shattered. I had to glue it and put it back on. It doesn't move, but you can see right there where it came off.
yeah,
1982. This thing's 41 years old, and the arm just like shattered like glass when it came off.
Now,
Feels bad, man.
What you should do, Steve, is put that belt on him.
What, the one that came with Eddie?
No, the Brit. Well,
Yeah, because I don't have one of the
Great.
Universal titles yet.
okay.
This
But,
isn't the Bray
if
that
I
came.
do, I
This
will.
isn't the Bray that came with the Fiend belt. This is the newer Ultimate Bray.
Yeah, it just came with it came with that jacket and it's got a couple of heads and a couple of hands.
Gotcha.
I found Ben for the T-shirts, especially for the
A couple of
elites.
heads.
You pop the head off and just slip the shirt over it.
Okay.
That usually works.
I'm asking because I noticed, for example, the Ric Flair's Series 92 comes with the Four Horsemen shirt. And, of course,
Yeah.
I'm trying to go back and collect a lot of the older WCWs. So, like the Arn Anderson, the Tully Blanchard, stuff like that were in the Hall of Fame pack, but they didn't have no extra accessories or shirts. It was just their body with their trunks. So I was like, oh, that'd be cool to throw the Four Horsemen shirt over that because the Ric Flair with the Four Horsemen shirt's like $10. So I was like, okay, I can have a lot of extra Ric Flairs, but I can get that shirt for like $10 and put it over an Arn Anderson or a Tully or a Lex Luger or somebody like that.
Yeah, I'm really excited. This might be my favorite Ultimate that I have now, but I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Michael says when he has trouble getting the arms and legs off, he soaks it in hot water for a minute.
Makes
Mike
sense.
will be playing with his Ultimates in the tub.
So, hey, wait a minute though. Soaking figures in hot water is an old NECA trick. That is an old NECA trick because NECA figures, probably 10 years ago, when you first got them out of the package, you couldn't hardly move the features on them. I mean, they were so stiff, and they would break. NECA figures would break like that. But you heat them up either with a blow dryer or hot water or whatever, and all of a sudden they just move all over the place.
You got to warm them up, man.
Mm-hmm.
Buy them a drink first, you know.
That's right.
What you got for us this week, Dr. Nick?
All right. I thought Ben was before me.
Nope.
No, on my screen I got
Never,
me, Chuck, Dr. Nick, then Ben.
Oh, okay.
then Roger.
never let Ben
I
go
wasn't-
first. She'll do it.
All right. So I got some Lucy's. I got a friend of mine sent me over these. I got the new Solo Sequoia. And
Nice.
I've got the Rock concert, Ruthless Aggression Rock.
No.
I love the belt buckle they included on there.
Is that,
That
one
also
with
came with the
Eh.
guitar too, right? Came with the guitar.
Yeah, it's got the guitar.
So, Nick, did you get that
Yeah.
at Walmart or a store, or did you have to order it online? That Rock figure.
A buddy of mine, he pre-ordered a bunch of the Ruthless Aggression, and to make sure he got a good box, he ordered 2. Because these will never show up in my stores.
Yeah,
my Walmarts around here do not restock very well.
Yeah, I just noticed it this weekend. That's why I sent it in the admin chat that it started hitting the Ruthless Aggression started hitting the stores with the new superstars. But as all, of course, it's always out in California first. So I was like, well, give us a few weeks or a month and we'll get it. But I didn't know if it's already made
the Eddie Guerrero and the Rey Mysterio Ultimates are starting to hit the Midwest stores.
Okay.
Yeah, I found, like I said, the only. Go ahead.
They've started to pop up sparingly in the Midwest, but it'll probably be another month before that happens.
Yeah, I was shocked when I hit that motherload here in Texas, and they had it on end cap in Walmart.
Yeah, someone in the comments says that Rock's at Walmart, but I guarantee it's not at my Walmart. My Walmart doesn't have anything but disappointment.
What did you say about Eddie Guerrero?
The Ultimate Edition Eddie Guerrero, it's like his 2004 championship run. It's got like the red tights.
Let me see something.
And it comes with like the undisputed title.
I got it. I'll run and go get it real quick.
Yeah, I got it right here.
King Booker. I was pretty hyped to find this. I love when Funko does characters they've never done before.
I agree.
And this one, even though it's a
that Booker's gonna look good signed too, man.
Are you talking about these?
I'd like to get that signed. I'll tell you what. Even though this is technically a screw up on Funko's part, you guys tell me. I'm going to show it to you first, and you tell me what's wrong with it. So this is the Paul Bearer and Undertaker 2-pack. What's wrong with it?
It's a good question because I got that and I don't even know.
It looks like it says WrestleMania 4 back there. I can't tell.
Well, this is WrestleMania 9. Taker didn't switch to purple until later. What was it? Later '94.
SummerSlam '94. SummerSlam
Yeah.
'94. It's the first time he
So
wore
these
purple.
he's supposed to be wearing gray still.
Yeah.
So yeah, they screwed that up because he went away in '93 after the casket match between him and Yoko.
That was in January of '94 at the Rumble.
Yep.
And then he came back at SummerSlam.
Yep.
Came back at SummerSlam '94 and wearing the purple.
They effed that one up.
Yep.
Yeah, so that one he would at WrestleMania 9. He would have faced the Giant Gonzalez. So yeah, he was wearing gray. Yeah.
Yep.
I got the since I love Hogan obviously, and I have to have every Hogan there is. I got the Coliseum Collection Hulk Hogan.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Technically, this is fantasy attire because he never actually wore this. Just like the LJN that was made for this. Apparently LJN just kind of, they had a red shirt version and a white one. I did not know that Hogan never wore this.
Are you sure?
I didn't know it was yeah. The word I got is Hogan never worn this.
So here's where a lot of the confusion comes from on that, right? So that match right there was not the one that took place on Saturday Night's Main Event, even though they have it kind of posed as that was the match. That match right there actually took place in Colorado before that match on Saturday Night's Main Event. So I would double check on that fact because I think that may be correct attire for that pre-match. I can't remember, but I read the story on that, and the match that took place on Saturday Night's Main Event is what they were going for. But if you remember the match they had on Saturday Night's Main Event, Hogan was wearing blue trunks.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like a month before or something like that, they had that match in Colorado, and that I think is what that's actually going after. I remember reading a story. We're going to have to do some research on that, but I remember reading a story about that.
Well, that and they screwed up on the color of the title. The strap is black instead of green.
Yeah, that's
it's supposed to be green.
Yeah.
You got that Undertaker Paul Bearer at GameStop, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I got mine.
GameStop exclusive. Yep.
I actually got to go into GameStop this past weekend, and they had a crap ton of pops that I don't have yet, but they wanted $15 a piece for them.
That's crazy.
Really? They only charge $9 at mine. Dang.
Yeah, they were like any of the GameStop exclusive ones are $14.99.
That's stupid.
Wow. So
probably
this was a screw up on Ringside's part. I didn't even have to pay for it. They sent me 2 of these.
Holy shit.
Nice.
It's an amazing ultimate, but I didn't need. Yeah, I opened the box and I'm like, all right. So I got
which one's
those.
That, Nick?
The Andre.
The Andre the Giant, and it's really cool because it's got the catalog merch shirt in it. That he never wore the shirt, but it's still cool.
I need that ultimate. I gotta find me one.
I got Elite 104 AJ Styles because I have every AJ Styles. I got Ultimate Seth Rollins.
Nice.
I'd put the soft goods on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Pat McAfee.
Oh,
hey, you had a big ringside order, huh?
And this right here, this figure I have been waiting for the longest time because before I even show you this line that they did was just non-existent in my area. Apparently, not a lot of people got them anyway because it was essentially the Build-A-Figure Sheriff Shawn Michaels. And it had Jake, Stone Cold, Ricky Steamboat, and I forget who the 4th person was.
Harley.
King Harley Race. Well, thanks to the Greatest Hits line, I finally have King Harley Race.
There you go, man.
I've been wanting this figure, but I was not going to pay up for it. I mean, people were wanting like $150, $200, and they started showing up in Canada at the Toys R Us up there. There was different Canadian variants, but yeah, when they announced the greatest hits version of this, I was like, heck yeah, because I mean, I don't care about the rarity. I just wanted the figure.
Yep.
But that's mine.
Nice.
That's a pretty good amount for 1 week, man. And you got that Barks. Yeah,
Oh,
here's
yeah.
the edit. You see how they did the belt, man? It's just loose.
Oh,
It
it's
doesn't even
huge. Well, tell me, look at Eddie was big during that time. Tell me that torso is not too big.
I mean, the torso is big. The waist is the issue here. You know,
Like it's misproportioned. He's got a skinny waist and he's got
Can't
this
make it
huge
sit.
torso.
you'd have to wear it all low like that. You know, that's
Yeah, but
around his ass.
I think a lot of that, though, like we talked about, I think a lot of that is because they actually designed that belt for Brock. I think
Yeah.
was the issue, and they just resent out the same belt basically.
I tell you who this belt would fit on, probably. Old Bray Wyatt. Nah, it looks
Yeah.
like it's too small for him. But yeah,
I think I've seen somebody had it displayed like him like bent down like on his on the knees or whatever with that droppable hips, and then like how he did his pose, and then they had the belt around and it fit better. But then I saw somebody they said they wedged a hand in between them, between the belt and his wrist or his waist, and it would hold it better. But
yeah, I even
Mattel
tried
has
to like
made
kind of do it.
Mattel's
like
made
this.
two different versions of that belt, the version 1 and the version 2, because
Yeah.
they had two different versions of the belt after Brock lost it.
Yeah,
The earlier version was actually smaller plates.
much smaller. Hogan had it.
Yeah.
Anyways, Ben, it's your turn for show and tell.
all right,
You
well
got something this week?
mine was quick. I actually had a good Saturday finding figures at we have the 127 yard sale, so it goes all the way through 4 states. I think from Ohio all the way down to Georgia. So I found a lot of stuff I showed on Tuesday, and then the ones I decided to keep, of course, I'm going to open them. So this was the Retro Fest Ric Flair. Of course, as you can see, the box was beat to hell. So I got it out tonight, and then I added the big gold to it.
Woo!
Got to,
Woo!
man.
So I got he's got the big gold, and then I found I'm gonna start collecting these because I'm becoming a big Diamond Dallas Page fan. Just the older I've got, and then right now in WCW, he's like I said, right now his career starting to take off. Now I'm starting in '98, but as you can see, I got the bobblehead, and of course the box from like 1998 was kind of beat up already too. I was kind of bummed because they had the cool inserts in the back, but as you can see, they were kind of bent too. And it was in the plastic, so it's still good. But I'm gonna not take it out yet because, of course, it's actually pretty heavy. I got the bobblehead of the DDP, and then I'm planning on getting the other 3: Sting, Goldberg, and Hogan. I've had them in the past, but I never owned them. So those are that. And then as we're going back today, cleaning out my daughter's room, my sister's boyfriend brought in a box of Hasbro's. And I was like, oh, wow. I mean, I said, yeah, those are Hasbro's. Be careful. And lo and behold, at the very top, I don't think I've ever showed this, but this was a custom. I had a custom Sting made from the Great American Bash.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's pretty nice.
This is actual custom. I have this one. I have the Surfer Sting with the Gloob with the blue pants and the orange Scorpion. Then I have the Mega Powers with Miss Elizabeth, Hogan, and Macho. But yeah, I saw this sitting on top. I was like, man, this is pretty sweet. The only thing when it comes to customs is you can't move the action. Can't do the action, move the arms, legs. You kind of that's how it's going to be. Because if you start moving them and it'll break, or like I said, with this jacket on, it could come right off. So I just leave them as is. But yeah, and that's pretty much it. That's all the show and tell I got.
I would highly recommend getting that thing encapsulated. Obviously not graded, but I would definitely consider encapsulating that.
When you talked about that, I definitely would like to get the Mega Powers because get all three of them together, and they're all in the yellow and the red, like how they actually made the new Mega Powers, and with Miss Elizabeth from the SummerSlam Elite. But that'd be these. Because I was just sitting there thinking today, I was like, what could I get, encapsulated? And matter of fact, these would actually be great, these customs.
Definitely.
Yep. So I have a quick question about the encapsulation thing. Because I've seen it, but I've never actually had it done. So, like, when they put a figure in there, what holds the figure down?
We got some pictures. We got some pictures. We'll go to that right after Will and Roger go on their show and tell, and we'll talk about that.
Two things with that too. Also, too, Jeff Lowe is going to join us next week, and he's going to kind of talk through some of that stuff too. But we'll cover that here in just a minute. Roger,
what you got this week?
First or me?
It don't matter. I can go first. I don't have much.
Yeah, I got quite a bit. So.
All right. Yeah, I don't have much. Hey, so I know you guys already saw this tonight because Steven had it too, but I bought the same shit. So great minds think alike. Great minds think alike. And just like Steven, you guys already know these bad boys got to be.
You guys found those online, is that correct?
Yeah.
Amazon.
But
Amazon, okay.
The thing that Steven didn't show is the second head that comes with the Bray is way cooler than the first head that comes with Bray. And normally I wouldn't dig through the box, but this one here is like way cooler.
Nice.
Oh yeah, you're right. I mean, I hadn't even paid attention to the second head.
So I can't wait to get that one going. But I got that, and then of course, like Heartbreak Kid had earlier, he got the Brother Love. I love you, Brother Love, and I got this one from my buddy, admin Michael Beret. His wife was out shopping. He said, "Hey man, she found 2 Brother Loves." I said, "Yep, please snag it for me." Thank you, admin Michael Bray, for looking out for me. And you know what we about to do, right?
No.
About to rip this bad boy open. Can't wait to get that one on the display shelf.
Brian couldn't make it tonight, but it seems like he probably did the right thing by not coming.
Probably.
What is it? 3 out of the box so far?
Yep, he's taking care of his kid. And then, so those are my Lucy's for this week. I got more, but nothing too major. But the last thing I want to show before we go into Rogers and then we go into some talking about APG is I got this from a buddy of mine. I've had 2. This is the second one I've had in 30 years. And there's just not many out there. And there's a lot of stuff there's not many out there of, but literally there's not many of this out there. It's already JSA certified, ready to go, and it is beautiful, and I absolutely love it.
Oh, wow.
Dusty Rhodes in the polka dots. You don't see very many in the polka dots. You'll see some of his NWA stuff. You'll see some of his WCW stuff. So this is only the second one. And you guys know how many autographs I go through. I mean, you guys know better than anybody.
Yeah.
This is only the second one I've ever had in all my time of collecting. So I absolutely love it.
That's definitely a PC.
Yeah. So I had one before that I bought from a good friend of mine. And another good friend of mine, Kev Buckler, wanted it really bad. So I said, all right, man, just give me, what I paid for it, and here it is, yours. And I thought, man, I'll never find me another one. Then the same guy that I bought the original one from had a second one, and I offered some money on it. I think it was Ben that actually offered him the money on it for me, and he wouldn't take it. He wouldn't take the money that I offered on it. so I had to pass. Well, another good buddy of mine had one. They're just not out there. There's very few with the polka dots out there. So ended up getting it. Glad I got it. It may go up as a main event one day in one of the lives because I usually try to bring everything to the lives first, but I highly doubt it because I love it.
Yeah,
That's all I got this week. That's it for me. Other than when Roger goes, and I want to talk a little bit about APG.
Hey, real quick, you know what Dusty's thankful for? His polka
dots.
Right.
That's right. Oh, and also I got a request in the member chat to give you guys one of those. Man, woo, my God, Gene. Roger's up to you.
That's my favorite. And then when you do that, and then when Steven does the grunt, those are my two favorites.
Yeah, I haven't done the grunt tonight yet.
You might.
You didn't even do the grunt on that Dusty.
Well, to be honest with you, I know you got that black and white poster signed because I was there when you got it signed, and that's way cooler. But polka dot Dusty's always good to see. I'll give you a grunt. I'll give you a little grunt. All right, Roger.
Roger.
Right, so here we go. I got quite a few. I've been holding on, mixed in for the last couple of weeks. I found a Mae Young.
Hell yeah.
Series. Hold on. Oh no,
It's a
this
collector's
is collector's edition. Yeah, collector's edition. I found that at a Walmart, I believe. It may have been a Target, but I believe I found it at Walmart. And then what you were talking about earlier, the Eddie.
Hell yeah. Yeah,
So
shout out to Joey White, man. He was the one that I got my Eddie through. So I appreciate him finding that in the wild and sending it my way.
Yeah, so I got to thank William for this. I've been a huge fan of these guys from forever. Michael
Nice.
PSAs.
Hell yeah.
Between the Von Erichs and them and the feuds they had, that's what I grew up on. This for me to have this is just awesome. I got to thank Will for
Bad Street, Atlanta, TA.
That was them
Good
and the
auto.
Von Erich were my favorites back when I was a kid. And then another one from William. Love my Dustin Rhodes. So got another autograph of the Dustin Rhodes.
Very cool. Very cool.
And then I'm a huge Trish fan, but not from the Thank You Trish era, but from the old era. And I got that from William as well.
Look at that pink pop. Look at that pink pop.
Yeah, you can't
pink
see
just
it.
Pops.
It doesn't do it justice on the screen, especially with the glare. But yes, in person, that pops.
Yep.
Trish always has a good pink, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So then 2 people have already shown it. But Brother Love.
I love you.
That's right.
And then first time up, Shotzi. I'm a huge Shotzi fan.
Hey man, I've seen her multiple times in person, and oh my God, she is gorgeous.
Oh yeah. And
now,
then
if they do an ultimate for her, it better come with that tank.
And then
that's true.
The Ultimate Ray. Found that. Now the story behind that, I found Ray and Eddie the same place at the same time, and they were hidden. So somebody knew what they were doing. They were trying to hide them back. And I just happened to have learned from what the Mrs. does, and she'll look everywhere underneath and everything, see if anything's hiding. And those 2 are hiding on the bottom behind some duels. So I scooped both of those up. So I got that. We were talking about Alexa Bliss. I think this is one of my favorite figures.
So that Alexa right there, to me, looks better than the Ultimate.
Yeah. Agreed. And me and you talked about this. I asked you if I should get the Ultimate, and you're like, nah, I'll pass. And because of this, I agree with you. It's got Lily.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah, I love
Yep.
it.
Now, isn't that the only Alexa that has the Lily doll?
Yep.
Yeah, I believe so.
Oddly enough, they should have included it with the Ultimate, but they didn't.
So just to get this out of the way, because everything's lined up differently, found me a Roman.
Oh yeah. Wreck everyone and leave.
And I found this, and I'd never seen this before. King Wood.
Yeah.
That's a couple months ago. Series 97. I mean, yeah, it says it right there, but
yeah, Series 97. I'd never seen that one before. So I saw
That's
it.
when he won that King of the Ring tournament, and then Roman Reigns beat him for it, and then stomped on the crown.
Yeah. Now I've heard people talk about this one before, but Chainsaw Charlie.
Yep.
I love that one.
That one's awesome.
Terry Funk. Terry Funk.
Yep.
I love Mr. Funk. I need to get that Eddie Ultimate, or not Eddie Ultimate, the Ray Ultimate.
Yeah, I got that one. That's the one I just showed.
Yeah, I know that. I know.
Yeah.
I was going to say it earlier, but I didn't want to cut you off.
Oh, no, you're good. And then from Stevie, I got this Jay Uso.
Hell yeah.
And because of that one, the reason I told him I got it from him that I wanted it is to go with my Jimmy Uso.
There you go.
So now I got the brothers right there, which I really wanted.
Hey, I know you don't like to open the figures though, but that Build-A-Figure Mr. Perfect is badass.
I was just about to say that. I noticed that the J has the Build-A-Figure for Mr. Perfect. So I'm going to go back and have to get the other three so I can get build the Mr. Perfect. Same thing as I did the Mean Gene that you got, William.
Yep, absolutely.
So you need Zeus, Hogan. I think
we
Zeus,
won't,
Hogan,
hey, Roger,
and Ziggler, right?
Roger, we won't tell anybody about Mean Gene until it's time, though, right?
You're correct, sir. You are correct. And then I found the Edge Elite.
Nice.
And then to add to that one, I found the Edge Ruthless Aggression.
Nice. I like it. I like that.
I like that one.
Yeah,
I like that attire.
The belt. And I
like the attire.
And then I got one for Ben. I haven't shipped it off yet.
Nice.
JBL.
Ben don't need that, man.
That'll probably be going in the mail in the next couple of days. You're welcome, Ben.
Yeah, just be looking for it.
Yeah, I'm sure he will. And then the Kevin Owens Stone Cold shirt.
Nice.
I found that one.
God damn, Roger. Enough's enough, man.
Hey, I'm sorry.
Roger raided a Walmart.
Yeah, I know.
Hey, I told you guys they had that end cap at Walmart and they had so many figures. I was a kid in the candy store. And the missus is like, go ahead. And I'm like, oh, all righty.
Well, Roger, if anybody deserves it, brother, you deserve it. So I'm glad to see it.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Got these from Ben. I'm actually a huge Sammy Guevara fan.
Nice.
Got these from Ben in one of the auction things on Tuesday night. And I got the other one.
Yeah, both variants. Nice.
Yeah, both variants. And I'm extremely happy about that. And to be honest, I got 3 more things, I think. This is from Advent Michael Bure, Big Mike. It's a son.
Missy Hyatt.
Missy Hyatt. Thank you.
Yep.
Missy Hyatt. I was a huge fan of hers back when she was with Eddie Gilbert. Huge fan.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
She was a great manager.
Smoking hot.
Between her and Baby Doll or Miss Precious,
yep.
I'm at a hard guess as to who's the best because I love them all. And then from William, you can't go wrong with a Hulk Hogan.
Hell yeah.
Gotta
brother.
invest in Hogan's now. Invest in Hogan's.
Well, let me tell you something, brother.
I also got the Honky Tonk Man.
Yep.
And KO.
Nice.
And
Gotta do that shake, rattle, and roll.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a honky tonk. You better get them now.
No, you can't. You can't. And if I can make a point real quick about that honky tonk, guys, when he does appearances, which is extremely rare, he's a minimum of 50 auto, usually more, 50, 60, 70 and up, right? But
Yep.
I put those up. I think I put 4 or maybe 5. I can't remember of those up at 30 apiece and said, "All right, who wants them?" And they all sold out instantly. So
Yeah, I jumped on.
What a great investment.
And it's Fitterman COA,
Yep,
so
certified.
they're
Yep.
certified. Yep. And then I think I got this. Yeah, I did. And then the Ultimo Dragon from, and then you can't go wrong with the $1 billion Bray Wyatt.
Now, if you reach out to Ray Hall, one of our members, he said he would give anybody who bought one of those dollar bill protectors. So if you need one, reach out to Ray.
I
Definitely.
tried, and he hasn't sent me mine yet.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know when I bought them from you a while back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've reached out 2 or 3 times and I haven't received them yet.
Well, shit, that's weird.
Yeah.
I'll
And
ask
then
him.
last but not least, got this from Steven.
Nice.
Oh yeah,
You can never go wrong
16
with
by
AJ.
20.
That
Hell-
one's
hell-
awesome. That one's going up in a frame.
Nice.
Yeah, that's a good one, man.
And that's all I got, gentlemen.
Damn, Roger.
Nice.
You done put some of us to shame. You done make my Dusty look bad.
Oh no, you can't make Dusty look bad. You can never do
Yeah.
that. But
Nice
that's it.
haul, man. Nice haul.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'll give you a grunt.
There you go. That's what I was
What
waiting
the
on.
fuck? What the fuck is that all about?
What are you talking about, Will?
You gave me a half a gun. It sounded like a little mouth fart. Like a little.
It was the it was the appetizer, man.
Yeah.
You kill me sometimes, Will.
All right, so let's talk about APG for a couple of minutes here. We got some images to show. These actually
Yeah.
look
Let's
pretty
talk
good.
about APG. So, guys, we're going really hard at this. We got a lot of people sending stuff in, great items, and Jeff is working really hard for us. So, everything that we've got done so far has been absolutely phenomenal. These are some of the latest images. I've shown a lot of the images in the past couple of weeks. And also, too, next week, Jeff is going to join us and talk about APG and take any questions, talk about the grading process and the details. So, just wanted to get a couple pictures on there, guys. If you're thinking about it, don't hesitate. I can tell you, if you need pricing, reach out to me. You're going to get the best prices anywhere. TRC exclusive pricing above and beyond everybody else. And I can tell you it's a fraction of what the other companies are charging for grading. And the other companies don't do nearly as much detail as what APG is doing. Jeff is just kicking ass.
And Nick, you see how it kind of has those claws that kind of like roller coaster seatbelt.
Yeah.
Kind of keeps it in place. They even engrave the name of the figure into this plastic footing.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Look at that.
Very nice.
Isn't that badass? Guys, I'm telling you right now, if you think it's too expensive or not worth the investment, you're wrong, because it's a fraction of the cost of what you would think it would be.
I already have something I want to get encapsulated. I want to get my on-carded blue blazer.
Yep. Well, you'll see one of the latest we got done here in just a second. On card.
Macho King 85 plus. I grade this dirty wall back here though. I give that an 80, but the figure 85 for sure.
He's got the crown and the scepter. You don't see a lot that are complete like that. Usually they're always missing the crown and scepter. Beautiful. Look at that. Look at that Hasbro.
Very nice. Very nice. There's a better shot there of the engraving into the footing.
Yep.
Indentions into the footing too. So like this dude, you could shake this damn thing and it probably won't fall. You know,
Correct.
It's gonna stay.
Look at that doink. Look at him waving. Look at him waving at you. The doink Hasbro.
Good old Matt Bourne.
Isn't that badass? Look at that.
Very nice. The backside here.
Yep. So guys,
they actually engraved it right there.
Reach out about pricing. Reach out and ask questions. Get your stuff sent in to me. We do have some items. There you go, Nick, right there. You're asking about that Owen. This is probably the latest one we've had done. This was Admin Michael Beray's Razor Ramon as well. And man, that thing looks badass. Plus you're preserving this stuff. You're preserving it for virtually ever. Once it's in there.
Someone in the comments said that would be cool with a British Bulldog figure with his flag cape. I agree.
I absolutely agree. Yep.
Got an 80 near mint on this, huh?
Yep, from 1996, I think this came out, 96.
It's good.
Beautiful.
It's good, man.
So a lot of people have sent in. A lot of people got stuff coming. A lot of stuff's already come back. The turnaround time is really, really fast. The cost is very, very low. And guys, it is well worth it. Look at that stuff. And he can make custom cases to fit anything.
Oh, yeah. So I guess he's probably, 3D printing them himself?
Correct.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, it's the last issue, or last image, I mean.
Yep, great guy. He was always my partner in the past. We always did signings together. We always did a lot of, JSA. We did all kinds of different things like that together. So extremely trustworthy. Plus, you send everything directly to me. I take it, personally drop it off. I go back and personally pick it up, just like I do with the JSA items. So, I mean, it all goes through me anyway. Awesome, awesome stuff.
Yeah, very cool. I got to think of some stuff that I want to get like that. I wouldn't mind getting. I need to get like a really valuable piece. I'd like to get a hold of one of them defining moments, Ric Flair's, and do that.
This is my very next item that I'm getting done. This is my very next one because there's no case for these out there. My Bret Hart signed Simpsons figure. Really cool.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, that's my thing too. My hardest thing is trying to figure out what the hell to send in to get done, because there's a lot of stuff you have a lot of, but that's like it for me. Like those the odd shaped boxes would be great. Great items. And then tonight I wasn't even thinking about it until William brought it up. These custom Hasbros.
Oh yeah.
See, I was thinking the exact same thing, Ben. The ones that I got from Walmart that the boxes are just totally destroyed, like that Miss Elizabeth. Got those in, encapsulate them, and
like I said, reach out for pricing. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised because I think if you look at some of the other companies, they're charging $125, $150, $200 to encapsulate and grade items. I can tell you, it is a fraction of that cost. I mean, I can't speak highly enough about it.
Yeah.
Didn't you, William? Didn't you say that backlash Hogan I have should be done to it too?
So it's extremely rare. That one that you had, it was short packed, it was short made. There's not a lot of them out there. I think you showed it in the members chat not too long ago, or in the TRC podcast chat. And I mean, it's a very expensive Hogan figure, and I would definitely encapsulate that and get it graded, because you're just going to preserve it, and it's just going to continue to go up. And I'm not saying that we all sit around waiting for the day that anybody passes away or leaves us, but that day comes for everybody, and at some point the value on that is going to go even further through the roof. And if you've already got it graded and encapsulated, you're just going to quadruple your investment easy just from the grading.
Okay. Someone in the comments, they said they might have the Ric Flair I'm looking for. I might be interested in the blue robe defining moments, but I was actually talking about the butterfly black robe. The I think it's $100 now. I think it's pretty expensive. But next up, I saw this. I guess you would call it kind of like the Facebook post, and it said make a faction with one person from the Golden Era, one person from Attitude, one person from Ruthless Aggression, and then a current superstar. So we did a couple of these, and I think I got a couple of guys I got some images here of each person's thing, but I don't think I got Roger and Chuck's. But if you guys did it, we could just also just verbally say them. But first up, got Ben's here, and he picked Jake the Snake, Undertaker, Kane, and Bray Wyatt, and he would call them the Unholy. So
That's a badass team right there. And ultimately, every one of those guys has been a heel at some point. So that would definitely be a truly heel faction. Very, very cool faction.
Yeah, I was trying to, like I said, I was telling Steven when I sent it to him, this it was fun, but it was actually difficult coming up with somebody from each area, each era, and to come up with talent and stuff. And I almost was thinking of trying to do, throw a manager in there instead of, because like I said, I didn't think about Jake, and I was thinking about Paul Bearer, but I was like, well, a faction usually it's for, either the men or women talent, the wrestling talent, instead of a manager or, something during that time. So that's why I threw Jake in, and I was like, well, it makes perfect sense because he had that great rival there with Ultimate Warrior on the Snake Pit and stuff like that. And of course, he become, back then he was like considered a snake or like the heel. And then of course, later in his career, he got, it was like the Austin 316, that thumping your Bible and stuff. So that, and I was like, well, that, and, I was trying to think of Undertaker, they did the Ministry of Darkness. You have the Brothers of Destruction with Kane, Kane versus, in the Bible, Kane and Abel. So you got Kane and then Bray Wyatt, which popped in my head when Undertaker come out right after he got inducted in the Hall of Fame and, kind of whispered into Bray Wyatt's ear and stuff. So I was like, man, those four together would have been a pretty badass faction to come up with.
Well, I remember watching the Jake documentary, and he talked about how he was a heel, but everybody still loved him. Mm-hmm. So he kept the heel way, but everybody turned to where they liked him as opposed to a heel that they hated.
Yeah, for sure. I think this faction could work.
I think it could.
All right, next up, we've got Dr. Nick with the Untouchables, Bret Hart, William Regal, Gunther, and Chris Benoit. He's got some technical disasters here.
That's a interesting faction.
So my idea was you had a guy from all different eras, and you have Bret and Regal, who are mostly ground wrestlers and technical, and then you have the High Flyer and Benoit, and also a technical wrestler. And then you have, the power that Benoit had. And Gunther is, you've got the best of both worlds with that, where he's a big guy, but he's also very agile. So, and don't get me wrong, Bret was agile, but you're not going to see Bret throwing that many people around. He was a strong guy, but he was mostly a ground guy.
A grappler.
Yeah. And Regal, God, even though he wasn't that big of a dude, he could kick your ass. And I've heard stories where people would try Regal and he would shut him down pretty quick.
So something that I've argued with folks about before, and I'll say it again with this faction, William Regal there was a whole hell of a lot better of an actual wrestler when he was Lord Steven Regal in early WCW.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, the matches that he had, go back and look at 93, 94 WCW events and watch him with a lot of the guys that he wrestled. And, I mean, the actual technical mat wrestling that he did was so much better. Now, when he got to WWE, they wanted him to be more flashy, more of a superstar. Remember, he was a man's man, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
But in WCW, the matches that he had I would challenge everybody here to go back and watch a match of Steven Regal in WCW.
I'm sure I have it in those DVD compilations. So
I'm sure you do.
Yeah, that parking lot brawl with him and Fit Finley was great.
Yep.
we got a couple of picks in the comments here. We got Jake the Snake, Steve Austin, American Badass, Undertaker, and Randy Orton. Call him the Snake Pit. Okay. IRS, Attitude, Big Boss Man, Mountie, and Sergeant Slaughter. Oops, I messed that up. Yeah, you forgot a current superstar. And you forgot Ruthless Aggression. Just all golden era stuff and Attitude. So far we've got the Unholy, the Untouchables, and we did not plan this out, but I ended up naming my faction Unhinged.
Nice.
And I actually did go with a manager. So Ric Flair is going to be the mouthpiece here. I wanted to go.
Is that Heidenreich?
That's Heidenreich, baby.
Right.
I wanted to go with basically like psycho personas, and then of course Ric Flair is not actually crazy, but his promos are pretty crazy sometimes. So, I picked Al Snow because I love Al Snow. He's a deep cut of a favorite of mine, especially
What's
from the
everyone
Attitude.
need?
What does everybody want?
Exactly. Then I don't really need to explain to you why I picked Ric Flair, but basically it was between him and Jimmy Hart, but I figured Ric Flair was more suitable for this bunch. And then Heidenreich.
I feel like when you say Ric Flair, you got to put a little respect on that. You got to say the reason I picked Ric Flair. Woo!
That's right. Woo!
There you go.
But yeah, Heidenreich. He was a short-lived wrestler in the WWE, but other than his name, which is not very appealing, I thought he was a great wrestler. And then Kevin Owens, as we've seen in the recent months, and when he first came in with the prize fighter gimmick, he's crazy. And he's willing to beat your ass.
Yep.
Of course, everybody is, but yeah, that's why I came up with the Unhinged here.
Didn't Heidenreich pass away?
I don't think so.
No, I think
maybe
he's still alive.
Maybe I'm thinking of somebody else, but I thought Heidenreich passed away.
Yeah, but two things real quick, just like to go what Nicholas was saying. I was trying to think of either have a big man, a technical wrestler, a high flyer, and then just like what Steven did there, I was thinking of doing one called like a lunatic fringe. Like I was thinking to have like the crazy lunatic like Sid Vicious, stuff like that. And then where I saw you have the Unhinged, I was like, well, me and Steven had almost a similar thought process.
I almost put Nikki Cross in this group and didn't have Ric Flair, but I figured it would just be better to keep it as all dudes,
Sid Vicious was such a great wrestler character. He was such a great character that they could have every company he ever worked for could have done so much more with him. And I don't know what happened or why, but such a great character, And I think he
as
really
long as it's not
his
softball
legacy.
season.
Yeah.
He's
He
half
really hurt his
the man and
legacy.
half the brain.
Yeah.
He hurt his legacy later in life, with all the crap he's done with the fans. But, back in the wrestling days, what a tremendous character.
Yeah, and then somebody brought that up with Dean Ambrose because I was going to have Dean, Randy Orton, and Sid Vicious, and then I was going to try to think of somebody else.
Awesome. And then I had Will's here, the Immortals. So the only one that didn't come up with a name that started with UN.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Brett.
You talk about these factions here. Golden Era. You can't get more Golden Era than Hogan or Ric Flair. And for the Immortals, I went with Hogan. Obviously, you think about the 87, 88, 89 Hogan Golden Era. You just couldn't beat the man. And I almost put Macho in there too because Macho kind of went into the new generation era too. But I left them off. Put Brett in there for the new gen era. nobody. Well, I shouldn't say nobody. A lot of people don't give Brett the credit that he had, but Brett kept WWF running when Hogan left, and you really got to look at that. Great technical wrestler, one of the greatest of all time. My personal favorite of all time. Great team, and then of course, you know, early ruthless aggression era, 02, 03, Brock Lesnar, all the way up to present. What a beast! Just like the nickname, and the victories that he's had, the win-loss record, the big fight feel that he brings to everything. Great character, and then of course Roman. Roman obviously even before he was tribal chief, Roman was already main eventing WrestleMania after WrestleMania, World Championship after World Championship. So, I mean, if you put this team right here against any of the teams that anybody else came up with, this is a good fight. This is a good match, and I just there's a lot of characters out there. This wouldn't be my Mount Rushmore, but this is a hell of a card right here against any team. This is a old school traditional Survivor Series match with these guys against anybody would be a hell of a good match.
They should do a generational Survivor Series, man. Like 5-on-5. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But that's all the ones that we have that are image based. I don't know if Roger and Chuck actually came up with a faction or not, or if you want to give it a shot real quick.
I got one, but I don't have a name, but I think Andre the Giant, Giant Gonzalez, Big Daddy Cool, and Omos. That would be pretty interesting.
The land of the giants.
Yep.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah.
Or giants or
the toilet breakers.
Nice.
That'd be Yokozuna there.
Call him the big deal,
Yeah.
Yep.
That's cool.
I kind of do, but I don't know if it'll work out right. So tell me if it doesn't.
Just say it out loud, Roger. We'll help you.
Kerry Von Erich.
Okay, Golden Age.
Ric Flair.
I mean, technically, Ric Flair was a part of every one of them. So,
Right, so I think that would work. I'm not sure. Eddie Guerrero.
Okay.
Yeah.
KO for me.
Yeah.
For this generation.
Yeah, that
Great
works.
team.
Yeah.
That's good, man.
Nice job.
Kerry Von Erich, especially, man. That's a deep cut.
Well, you got to remember, I'm a Texas boy, so to be honest with you, all the Von Erichs, and it's said that in the same documentary. I can remember I can't tell you how long my mother had a huge crush on Kerry. They were like royalty in Texas. Swear to God.
Kerry, if he had stayed away from drugs and alcohol, he definitely could have been world champion during that era because he was Intercontinental champion. He was well on his way. Even in '92, he was still really, really big in WWF. And then, of course, '92, WrestleMania 8, Hogan leaves for over a year. I mean, that would have been the prime opportunity for Kerry to really take off. But, of course, battling drugs, he had legal problems and everything else. And then, unfortunately, in the beginning of the following year, he committed suicide. But what a great opportunity that he missed because he could have been the guy on the very top of the WWF. He was like a younger, more personable Ultimate Warrior is how I would put it.
Well, I don't know if a lot of people knew this. I'm sure everybody here knew it. Kerry beat Ric Flair for the title.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Back in can't remember which one it was here in Texas, but it was at the old Texas Stadium.
Yep.
It didn't have a cover, and it was just wide open. I can't tell you how many thousands of people went to that. I watched it on TV, but he beat Rick and then lost the title back to Rick like 2 or 3 weeks later. But nobody knew he had a fake leg or a fake foot. And
yeah,
I think
he got in that motorcycle accident.
Yeah,
that was during a time period too where you really didn't see people taking the belt off of Rick unless they were an established star with the NWA. And, Kerry was still WCCW.
Yep,
So
correct.
you really didn't see that. But Kerry was such a big star there that they put him over. And again, in WWF, he could have been multiple-time Intercontinental Champion. He could have been World Champion. There's a lot of stuff he could have done. Again, his personal life is what just ate up his career, unfortunately.
Yeah, they talked about it in the documentary, the Von Erichs documentary. They had plans for him to get huge pushes in WWF, and then it just all went down.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, next up, guys, we've got Cheap Heat, and I actually do have something that I want to talk about this week, wrestling related, or at least collecting related. Let Fozzie go ahead and get off the table here. All right.
Fozzie.
So this involves Ringside Collectibles and the fact that we need another huge competitor in the figure space because, you look, here's Elite 103 series. I know you probably can't see it, but, Bobby Lashley's $21.99, Roman's $21, Montez, Angelo, all four of those are $21.99. But then when you get to Liv, $23.99. So a $2 upcharge because it's Liv Morgan and she comes with that belt and probably the briefcase, And then the polka dot Cody, $25.99. What the fuck? Why do people allow them to do this? Because
they're the only game in town.
They're the only game in town. And not only that, but they know people are going to want that Cody Rhodes.
Yep.
So basically they're saying, well, Roman comes out with a figure all the time, so it won't sell as well. But since we know Cody will and Liv will, because everybody loves Liv, even though she's not very good, we're going to upcharge for those figures.
Have you seen the upcharges on the chases they have? Those are almost $30.
Actually, that brings me, I got another example here. This is Basic Series 139. Roger, you put up the Pat McAfee earlier. Well, he's $12.99, and Matt Riddle is $11.99. Hulk Hogan's $10.99, and then the Chase Pat is $20.
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't. Somebody else put that up.
That was me.
Hey, and then not too long ago, just a basic Dominic Mysterio, I think was like almost $30, like 26 or 30 or $29.99 or something like that. It was expensive for
and
a
I mean, if you look at every series they have, it's like this. Like let's go to 102. $19.99 for Sami Zayn, but if you want Gunther, $25.99.
Yep.
Well, here's the thing: the Gunther is cheaper at Walmart, but if you want to get the Sammy, he's $25.99 there as well.
The only two websites similar, they have one called Wrestle Shop, and then they used to have a site called Walkout Wear, but they went out of business.
Yeah. Well, isn't Wrestling Shop just the UK version of Ringside, or is that WrestlingFigures.com?
I think there is one called Wrestling Shop for the UK, but I might be confusing it, but there is one called Wrestle Shop for United States, and
I would say though with that, I've heard a lot of bad things about those guys, and they're always the last ones to ship. I don't know if it's true or not. I've never experienced it, but I've heard a lot of negative about them.
Well, every situation where I bought Ringside, which I think is like 3 or 4 times, it's always something damaged or something fucked up, and it takes like 2 weeks almost to be delivered. But someone in the comments said Liv deserves more push than she gets, but like she was women's tag champion and she was women's champion. They gave her a plenty of push. I would say it makes more sense to say that more about like LA Knight, who hasn't held anything on the main roster.
She's by JBL.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you. I just want to see, and correct me or like my answer or not, I want to see somebody else besides Bianca. And it was a good thing that Io Sky won it. I don't care how it was done. She had a bum knee or whatever you can say. I'm tired through with watching Bianca win it, take the championship. It just needs to go to another person.
Mhm.
You know,
No,
I'm
I agree.
curious. I'm curious how she grew that blonde hair and ponytail.
That was a weave.
I know.
That was a piece of rope, man, which she didn't even utilize in the match.
I know.
Well, no,
I
but
know.
Asuka used it to her advantage.
I saw
Yeah.
that when she came out. I'm like, what the hell?
It was like, that's a piece of rope.
I thought they were gonna have an old fashioned Dusty Road bull rope match.
With Bianca's hair.
Yeah.
Who was the one? Oh, when Jay pulled out the old belt strap.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
good. I was actually surprised that Roman took any type of bump in that match, especially the one over the ropes and through the table.
Yeah. Who wants to get hit with that leather strap?
I
Not me.
remember back in the old days, Dusty would have sometimes the Texas strap match or Texas bull rope
With the cowbell.
with the cowbell. Yep, with the cowbell in the middle. And of course, back then, blading was very common. So you get busted with that cowbell over your head and fall down and then blade yourself and you're bleeding all over the place. Those were good matches back then. AEW, before the Briscoe brother that died, I was at the Coliseum where they had it, where the Briscoes and FTR had a bull rope match, and all of them were busted open. This is one of the
AEW
best
uses
matches.
blood too much. Hell,
I
John
agree.
Moxley sneezes and he bleeds.
I agree with you on that. And like I said earlier, I also agree with the fact that they do too many chops. It's like they have to have a certain amount of chops and a certain amount of
Super kicks.
super kicks.
They got a quota.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. Each match, it seems, has a quota. So one person
And none of it makes sense because the guys that are running the back of that company backstage are all legends and they all know what the hell to do. So it makes no sense that they're not putting on, absolutely tremendous storylines, absolutely tremendous, 5-star matches every single match because the guys that are literally back there telling them this is what needs to happen are the greatest of all time.
Agreed. Agree 100%.
Chuck, you got anything for Cheap Heat this week?
No, I don't.
Everything's good.
So every
good in the hood.
week, Chuck doesn't have anything for Cheap Heat. So Chuck, I'm challenging you next week to have something for Cheap Heat.
Well, I guess I could say something today.
I was about to say, get mad, Chuck.
Here we go.
People need to really watch what they're trying to buy because there's so many people out there that say, "Oh, I have this," and you go to look, and then they send you something that you don't want to see, and that's about all I really can say right now. That's probably why I'm not on Facebook.
People sending you wiener pictures, Chuck.
Yes. I made me mad or not on what. I was
Chuck
mad.
Chuck went to go buy a Ric Flair and they showed him something else. Woo!
I'm after those, the rubber figures of the back in the 70s. And this guy said, "Oh yeah, I got these ones and those." And I said, "What'd you have?" And the next thing I know, wasn't what he had. Let's put it that way.
Was it like he sent you 8 pictures, 7 of figures, 1 of an accidental pee-pee?
No, just one pee-pee.
That's the wrong kind of rubber, man.
Yeah. And I was mad.
They don't call him the Heartbreak Kid for nothing.
He's like,
wait a minute, that's not Giant Gonzalez.
That's like a mini.
Now I can say Chuck has won the laugh of the night with that one. Good job, Chuck.
So what was your
Holy
first
shit.
response to him? Because I would have been like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Well, I pretty much said that I was going to cut it off and shove it up his butt.
You Mr. Few,
but I didn't use those words.
Mr. Yamaguchi?
Yeah, I didn't use those words, and then the next thing I know, I get a thing from Messenger and Facebook that says you are blocked.
Oh wow, Jesus!
I probably shouldn't even say that stuff, but
That's funny.
that's what happened.
That's funny.
Dr. Nick, what you got, man?
I don't really have anything bad. Everything's been going pretty good. No cheap heat, really. I mean, I've got some positive stuff. I've decided to start collecting some different things, especially with autographs. I'm starting to realize that a lot of autographs I don't have. So, like, a lot of people who are still around, either I can get them signed in person or, through one of the lives. So, like, a lot of the legends, I'd like to get more Ricky Steamboat stuff.
Yeah.
I like to get a lot. I do not own a Flair Auto. I'd like to. I want to save up first because.
What the hell, Nick? All the flares we've had up, some badass flares. Come on,
I
man.
know it. I know it.
Woo!
Hey, Nick, I got 2 birds, 1 stone for you, man.
I
got an 8x10 signed by Ricky Steamboat that I bought from Ben, and it has Ric Flair on it, but not signed yet. And I was thinking of getting it signed, but since I just bought $400 in DVDs, probably not going to do that for a while. And I already have Ricky's autograph. So if you want that 8x10, I'll sell it to you. I think I paid $20 for it, so you can just have it for $20 if you want it.
Well, we could talk about it. Because the main image that I want, and I think William had, I want the it was the image of him standing behind the desk on NWA TV, where he's got like the suit on, and he cuts that big promo. You know what I'm talking about? That's the image I want. I want the old school like NWA image.
Well, Rick's doing a signing here in Austin on September 1st through 3rd. He's only charging $89 for a photo, and he's charging $149 for belts or whatever. So,
yep, just like that.
Oh, I was gonna zoom in, but I couldn't find you in my list for a second.
I'm sorry.
It's all right. No, we've seen that one plenty of times.
Yeah, basically,
hey, you can never see that one too much. Hold on there. Hold the phone.
But yeah,
what I meant was just put that on the show and nobody bought it.
Just focus on.
In their defense, though, I've sold I think I've been the only one that's ever had those. Like I've never seen those pop up in another live or anywhere. So I've sold like 10 of those, and that's the last one I have. So, I mean, in their defense, I've sold a lot of them.
But yeah, no real negative.
Well, that's good.
I'm glad to hear it, Nick. I'm glad everything's going well, and you and I have had some awesome conversations, and I'm glad everything is looking up.
Yeah, I was about to say you've had some juicy ones in the past few months, so you get a week off, man. Everything's going okay.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, what you got? You hate JBL?
Yeah. We have a love-hate. I'm just not a fan of him. No, everything's going good. Nothing really. I had the same experience like you had today because I was running out of boxes. Like if you could see, I spent all day getting stuff boxed up ready, and I have it here, getting stuff out of the bedroom. This whole place here is just nothing with wrestling stuff, which is amazing. But the old lady, she'll get be like, why is all this? Like I said, I'm not going to show the camera around, but I got too much stuff as it is right now out here. But
you got to get it out of your house.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is my collection. I just ran out of boxes, so then I had to take my collection out of the box to put it up here to be able to ship stuff out. But that's the only thing. Nothing negative. It's just I found an Amazon Boogeyman that I did get. They just put it in the box, but the box wasn't damaged. But the Boogeyman figure that came in that box was damaged. So now I got matter of fact, I'll grab it right here.
Amazon clearly does not give a fuck.
They don't. They're about as bad as Ringside. I don't know if you could see, but like it's got a big old dent.
Oh, I saw it.
I saw it.
And then right up here, there's another big dent.
Open it.
And well, thing is, either I could try to resell. It's a cool figure, but I was just going to see him again, but now it's just I can't even get this signed because it's even though it is on the back, it's beat up pretty bad. So that was one thing, gripe. But the only other thing I had, I talked about in the member chat. I started going back because I'm another, I collect posters, magazines, just some rare stuff. But I got to looking, just for the spotlights, and I noticed, Miss Elizabeth, and I was thinking of like, damn, I'm rewatching the WCW, and I feel like she's got hotter over, the older she's got. And then it brought up to look when I was looking at the magazines, I didn't realize, but she was on 5 cover of WWF magazines from 88 to 91. And which was crazy is her debut was out 2 months before the first debut of Macho Man's. And I was like, wow. And then for back then during that time, women didn't get a lot of credit in the wrestling industry. It was mostly a male dominated sport. But, then all of a sudden she came out of the blue. She was the, Macho's secret manager. And it, took off there. But she was on 5 covers. But I got to thinking, I was like, she don't get a lot of credit that she deserves, especially as a manager or as one of the women, pioneer of the industry. So that was my thing. It's give more love to Miss Elizabeth.
For her to be on a magazine cover like that was really rare. You didn't see that. I think she was the only woman for a long time that was ever on that.
Yeah, because Sonny was one of the last. Was probably the second one? Like after, but that was in mid 90s, mid to late 90s. But yeah, she was the only one right during that time. Well, you had Wendy Richter. My bad. Wendy Richter was the first one with Hulk Hogan.
Oh yeah, you're right.
After that, she was on. Not just one; it was 5.
Someone said they got a Page figure from Amazon. They just put it in a bubble mailer. He said an envelope, but I think he's thinking of those bags, which is bullshit. But when they deliver the stuff themselves, I could understand why they just put it in the little bubble mailer.
They bent down here on the corner, and
well, Ben, if you want to sell that thing loose, man, I'll give you $1 for it right now. No problem.
Hey, I was gonna say if you wanted to sell it and hold on to it. So
start bid,
man. I'll take it.
Yeah, like I said, I'll probably throw it in the sale, just with box damage. But I definitely won't get what I had invested into it. But
get
it out.
Well, it sucks about Amazon. They've started to contract a lot of their stuff out to the U.S. Postal Service, and as you know, they beat the shit out of everything.
Yeah,
and they barely show up. Actually, the other day, when I got my DVD package, which was 2 packages, my mailman usually comes at like 9:30, 10 a.m. And it still said it was out for delivery, but he didn't show up then. And I basically had my camera on to like watch for him. This dude didn't show up till 7:30 p.m. Which
I thought at home watching your DVDs.
I thought that they didn't they didn't deliver after like 5:30, 6 o'clock. This dude showed up at like 7:30, and I was like, man, I'm so glad to see you. I really thought that I was gonna have to wait another day to get my packages. And I was like, yeah, I told him what was in it, and he's like, oh shit, man, like the old school stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, I got the old school DVDs in there.
See, he was watching them.
It was 56 pounds for both.
He
of those
pulled up
boxes.
to your house and was like, "Hey, Steven, woo!"
He gets out of the mail truck and he's like, "Let me tell you something, brother."
He's like, "Bro, you did.
You
good
were watching my DVDs.
You did good with the DVD set." See, FedEx can't even deliver a toilet to Lowe's without breaking it. Oh, okay.
Makes sense.
I figured Lowe's probably gets their freight through a truck. So it's probably just.
I think it's being sarcastic.
FedEx be like, knock, knock, he ain't here, and then run away.
Yeah.
So, he ain't here.
That's a true fucking fact.
They write the fucking note in the truck before they get out and walk up to the door.
Yeah.
Knock, knock. I gotta get the fuck out of here. Whip the corner. Run the curb over on the way out of the neighborhood. You just standing there. Fuck that FedEx.
Yep.
Roger, you got something for Cheap Beat this week, man?
Yeah. And this has been said before in our group. Don't knock people because you don't know what they're going through.
Hell yeah.
I had a buddy of mine who posted something in regards to basically how to chug a beer the new way they have it. And so I sent him a thing asking, where do I get this from? And he called me. And he's all like, hey, can I talk to you, man? I'm going through some stuff. I'm like, 100%, brother. What you going through? And he told me, and we talked probably about 45 minutes. He's like, I'm glad we talked because, and I think this is the kicker for everybody to understand. He said, when you're the guy everybody comes to, who's the person you go to when you need to talk?
Yeah.
And I was glad that he came to me, and I was glad to help him and listen to him talk and vent, and then throw some positive feedback his way, and just go back and forth. And it was a great conversation, and I love him. He's a brother, and it's the same thing. And I keep going over and over. Nick's gone over it. William's gone over it. All of us have said it. If you need to talk, we're all here for you 24/7. There's people that William have talked to, Ben have talked to, Nick, and it's all love and good. But don't think or don't forget about the person that you always go to talk to, that maybe they're having a bad day and they need to talk to somebody. Don't forget that person you depend on isn't 100% indestructible themselves.
Exactly.
I'll leave it at that.
Roger, someone in the comments asked, how many belts does Roger have? Well, they said dang belts. How many dang belts you got, Roger?
I think I've got about 13.
13, okay. That's not too bad.
Yeah, I'll be getting a couple more so I can catch up with Chuck.
Steven, did I see a comment? Some they're waiting for a present since Christmas or something.
No, they were saying when they're waiting for a package, it feels like a kid on. They feel like a kid on Christmas.
I was about to say, I know somebody's now going to be about 2 years waiting for a Christmas present and haven't got it.
2 years,
right, William? Yeah, from our Secret Santa, somebody's supposed to send him with that. We've got 2 years.
I check every day. That shit still ain't here. That shit's still missing. Let me tell you about that. So this dude, what?
Someone can we put Ben's number on a truck stop bathroom stall? For a good time,
dude,
call JBL and then we'll put Ben's number.
Yeah, this dude, like a couple of years ago, was gonna send me a Christmas present, and he had gone through a lot of stuff, and we had spent a lot of time talking, and he participated a lot in our group and participated a lot in our sales and stuff, and gonna send me something. He reached out to my wife and was like, "Hey, I found this stuff. I think Will really like it, and I'm gonna send it to him for Christmas." And she was like, "Okay, great. That's great." And he loves all kinds of stuff, and anything that he gets from anybody, because I don't usually get stuff, believe it or not. I mean, this year I've got more stuff than ever. But so he's like, "Yeah, man, I'm putting it in the mail. I'm doing this. I'm doing that." And that was like 2 years ago. And that shit ain't never arrived. Never got tracking. Dude just straight up left the group. I mean, I don't know what happened, but it's one of those things. But for my cheap heat, though, I don't really have anything to complain about or bitch about or anything. Everything's going so good behind the scenes. The admins are doing great. The group's doing great. The podcast's doing great. This little switch that we've done to Wednesdays has definitely impacted our viewership a little bit. But I think once they get used to it, they'll be in here on Wednesdays, and we'll be okay with that. I'm really, really happy with the podcast crew. I hope you guys are too. This is really kind of the permanent crew that I want to run with. Of course, also including Brian, Kev, and Shane as well. But I'm really happy with how everything is going. I don't have anything to bitch about. All I can say is how much I sincerely appreciate people. Guys, you have no idea. You don't know how far we've come from where we began. And, you know, you're all a part of it. You're all a big, big piece of it. There's no little tiny pieces to this puzzle, and it's been great. And I really enjoyed it, and I really sincerely appreciate everybody. Got a couple of trips coming up here real soon. I got a trip to Shreveport coming up, do some signings out there. And then in September, I got a trip coming up to Chillicothe, Ohio. Get some stuff signed out there. Looking forward to really seeing a lot of people. I know a bunch of the admins are going. I know a bunch of the members are going. So that's really it for me, man. I think everything is really on the up and up, going great. I know we're going to do some extra sales coming up here real soon. If you noticed, this past Tuesday, I did a lot of dollar stuff, a lot of $3 stuff, $5 stuff, trying to empty out some shelves and stuff like that. But definitely some great things going on. And guys, I love you. I really do. I absolutely fucking love you. And I don't mean that in like a flamboyant way, I guess is a way I could say it without getting kicked off the air. But I'm here for you. I appreciate you. And I don't know how else to say it.
Well, ain't that just sweet of it? I love you too. As a brother from the same mother.
Don't start talking shit here after I just had this great emotional moment.
Well, actually, the thing you were talking about a second ago about the guy that never came through in what he said, I can't stand when people do that. When they say they're going to help you out or do something nice, and then when it comes time for it to happen, you're the dick for bringing it up. You're like, hey, weren't you going to do something? And they're like,
yeah,
nah.
Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. I never brought it up because I just was like, fuck that guy. But it is a good story because I still tease the admins at least once a month. I'm like, hey, you guys think my Christmas present will be here today? I'm gonna go check the mail. So
someone in the comments does not like Ben. They say, no, I love you. No, I love you. No, screw Ben.
What the heck?
Fuck you, Ben. What the hell did you do to that guy?
What the hell is JBL doing in the chat?
Hey, it's the way I learned about it. It's Ben is being Ben. I don't have to do nothing, and I still get haters.
I get pictures.
Man. I'd rather have haters than pictures.
I would too.
Me too. Yeah.
Chuck heard from a guy named Richard.
Yeah.
He did.
You say he always likes giving Ben shit. Speaking of,
can you imagine how that conversation
today?
Can you imagine how that conversation probably went? Chuck's like, hey, let me see your 7-inch rubber. And the guy's like, hold on a second.
No. I guarantee that didn't come out of my mouth.
You're like, oh, sir, I'm here for the figures, not the dick.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of something real quick, I got that Facebook kind of this is a violation against Facebook when I posted that little Minnesota Vikings mini helmet. It popped up. What? I was like, what the hell? Why did I get a violation for that? So you can either accept it or decline it.
Michael Vick?
Yeah. Wasn't he part of the Vikings?
He played for Atlanta and Philly.
Oh, I thought he played for the Vikings.
I think maybe he was third string for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Or it might. I think it was the Jets, actually.
Okay. Why in the world would they block you, give you a violation for that?
Facebook be tripping, man.
Yeah, Facebook's
weird.
crazy.
Yeah.
I
posted on our claim sale, WWF magazine, $15 shipped or whatever, and I got a notification from Facebook, and it said, this may go against our sexual standards or some shit like that. And I'm like,
Yeah.
Fuck, it's a WWF magazine for $15 shipped.
Yeah.
Two things. One, I was trying to watch some podcasts on YouTube, and it said we couldn't watch them because it was a copyright issue or something. And I was like, what the hell? And then the second thing, I was in a Mexican recipe group on Facebook. I would turn around and send the Mrs. the recipes. I would get blocked or whatever you want to call it, and then I got banned for 5 days because of that. And I disagreed with it, and they were like, "Nope." And I'm like, I'm sending recipes from a Mexican
It's
recipe
that
group
damn Mark Zuckerberg, man.
to the Mrs. Well, as soon as I went back and deleted it, never got nothing either.
That's weird.
Now, I will say, one time a long time ago. I mean, long time ago. I was talking to the admins in the admins chat, and I happened to receive things in life from wrestling people, wrestling fans, people that have been part of the business, stuff like that. And I had a bunch of let's call them X-rated photos of some WWE female talent, and it's just something that people had sent me, and I was like, hey, did I ever show you guys this? Because I had, we were talking about something crazy, and I sent them the pictures in the messenger chat, and by the time I sent like the fourth picture, Facebook was like, whoa, what are you doing? And I was like, holy shit, they're monitoring my messenger chat. So I'm going through trying to delete the shit,
Wow.
But yeah, so they literally even monitor your messenger chat. It was crazy, but the boys got to see some titties, and that was cool. But other than that, I was like, yeah, it was some extremely provocative pictures, like stuff that you would just be like, holy shit, how did you get that? And I'm like, I don't know, somebody sent them to me, but it was some nasty shit.
Well, we went over time. I know we were going to play a game, but we're already 16 minutes over, so you want to just save the game for next week?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's the best idea.
When everybody gets back in here. That way, you guys will have a better opportunity of beating me. Because I've won before, right? I know.
I don't know. I won so much, you guys started making me make the game, so I couldn't play anymore.
I mean, I make the games too, but I want to play.
I understand.
Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to another Top Rope Wrestling Collectibles production, Wrestling Heel Talk. And, shout out to Kev, Brian, and Shane, who all had stuff that they couldn't miss going on this week. But we'll get them back on here next week, hopefully. Thank you guys so much for watching. You guys doing the sales back on Tuesday nights now? I know you did one yesterday.
We are, but I think there's going to be a special episode this weekend, and you and I will talk about it afterwards, Stephen. But okay. I think there's going to be a special episode featuring multiple people again. So we're looking forward to putting that out in the announcements. Also, too, guys, every week now after the live sale, we're doing an admin claim sale where maybe you missed the live event. You can go back and check out some of the items in the claim sale, because we have a lot of people comment to us that they don't actually get to see the live sale because they're working or whatever's going on. But check those out. You never know what to find in there. Great items in there. So
absolutely. Yeah, I was looking through that earlier today, but I'm just kind of tapped out at the moment with that DVD buy. Chuck, you got anybody got any more final words they want to say before we sign off?
No. Just thank
you,
a great week,
everybody,
for interacting, and have a good weekend.
Yeah, thanks everybody for joining. Check back this weekend for the big sale, and check back on Tuesdays. We appreciate every single one of you, and have a great week and have a great night.
Yeah, thank you guys.
We'll see you guys next week.